welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do a story time. So grab your water or grab something that you like to sip on while you listen to a long YouTube video about a story. So this story is about me in Costa Rica and my first week there, and I wound up hurting my back to the point where it was so bad that I had to see someone. So we were staying in a hostel, right? And the hostel, it seemed fine. It had a double bed. So me and my husband were sleeping in that bed together, okay? And I had a little bit of back issues for like a couple days. And I guess it slowly got worse and worse and worse. And then like Friday night, it was pretty bad, but it was like bearable. And I was like stretching like this, like stuff like that. And it was just like painful. And then the next morning, it was like the worst. Ooh, probably maybe the second worst pain I've had. Maybe second or third worst pain I've had in my life. I haven't had children, but you know, like I've had my teeth extracted. I've had, what else have I had? Oh, really bad menstrual cramps, bleeding season. You know how that goes. So that's the backstory about how my back got injured. So no, it wasn't playtime in the bedroom that created this mess, this hot mess. It was because of the bed itself and how I was sleeping on the bed. So let's just make that clear. All right. So my personal experience with the healthcare system and in Costa Rica, and I lived there for a month. So it was my first week. I don't know a lot of Spanish. And of course, a lot of people don't know a lot of English. There's quite a few people in Costa Rica know how to speak English. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so it was bad to the point where like I kept saying ow, ow, ow a lot. And it was pretty painful to the point that my husband got worried. So he was like, we need to see a doctor. I was like, okay. So I had to take a taxi to get to the doctor because I normally would just walk around because we were in San Ramon, Costa Rica, and it's a very walkable city. And so I would have just walked to the doctor. So we went to the pharmacia, to try to see a doctor. So you can find a doctor at a pharmacy. They have doctors at a pharmacy. I know typically in the States we have pharmacists at a pharmacy, but in Costa Rica you could actually see a doctor. So obviously there are clinics, there are hospitals and things like that. So I feel like, in my opinion, like going to like a pharmacy is kind of like maybe like for really minor things, you know, to see a doctor. And then it kind of escalates from there. So anyway, we went there. It was a little challenging at first because one, the doctor wasn't there yet, and we were there early, basically around the time it opened. And two, of course, there's a language barrier. Luckily, the doctor I had, she knew enough English to help me. So I explained to her that my back was hurting. So the pain was really bad. So basically it was like, she was trying to explain to me like in Spanish using kind of this hand motion a little bit, like say like something with my muscles in my back just got jacked up basically, but she couldn't figure out the English term of saying it. So anyway, it hurt pretty bad. So oh my gosh. So anyway, I saw her and she basically was a brief explanation. I don't even know what medication they gave me because I don't speak Spanish enough to know. But they gave me injections in my hip. So one was like a red oily injection and one was like kind of like a pale, very pale yellow. So one in each hip, okay? So I got injections and it actually helped a lot. I was able to fully recover after the three injections. Okay, no, 2 injections, 3 visits. So I had to get 6 shots total. So it was a Saturday I went. She told me just to rest or whatever. So I was trying to do a lot of like walking around town or anything. If I had to go somewhere, I had to take a taxi or whatever. And then I went back on Sunday. I got the injections again. And the third time I went to visit, I had to see a different doctor because the doctor I was seeing, which she was very nice, she did not, I guess, work on Mondays. But I had another doctor, and she was nice too. So I was very nervous for the first shot. And it's weird because I'm normally not nervous about shots, but I saw how long it was, and I was like, ugh. But anyway, it was fine. It was way less painful than my back pain, and it improved dramatically after, like, I would say, after like a couple days, 2 or 3 days. It was really good. And the cost, okay, the cost was like, I feel like it was El Cheapo. Obviously that's not a real word, but it was really, really cheap. Like, it was about $15 a visit. Yes, $15 a visit. So I paid about $45, like $15 and some change for each time I went for these 2 injections. And the doctor was injecting me with this thing to relax my back. So that is really like my story about that. Now the other thing is, I was in a hostel, and so some other people that were there also went to a doctor, but their experiences was very different from mine. I have traveler's insurance. I don't really have an insurance where, like, unless it's like catastrophic, I guess they call it, where it's like you get severely injured, you have to maybe fly back to the States, like that kind of stuff. I don't have like basic like insurance for little things like blood work or anything like that. I would have to pay out of pocket, and that's what I did. So, so a friend of mine, he had to get blood work. No, I shouldn't say blood work. He had to get lab work. It cost him $350. And he said that back at home, it would probably cost about double. I think he said it would cost $700 and something. So yeah, it was a bit cheaper in the States. However, I feel like with his situation, it depends on the state you live in. So I feel like depending on what you need to get done, it's not necessarily cheaper than in the States. But for him, he had to go to a clinic and he had to get lab work done, and it cost him $350 out of pocket, and he did not want to get it reimbursed with his insurance because he didn't want to deal with the pain in the butt of that. We had another person that unfortunately had to go to the doctor and get lots of lab work done, and wound up being in a hospital. I think she is fine. So I honestly don't know how much she paid out of pocket, but when I was hearing stories about it, like, it seems like they did some tests, things came back, you know, like she didn't have whatever they're testing for. I'm trying to not get too much of detail. So then her pain was bad to the point she had to go to the hospital. Mind you, we're walking distance from the hospital. So San Ramon, Costa Rica is a very walkable city. It is a nice city. I really do like San Ramon. It's a pretty quiet city, but as far as like activity, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like hot, you know, happening like maybe San Jose might be, or like New York City or Atlanta or something like that. So anyway, so she had, you know, wait around. Like, it kind of reminded me of America in the back of my head, like all the waiting around, you know, to like get your results back and figure out what's wrong with you. So those are the different things that I noticed about the healthcare system, me personally using the healthcare and knowing other people that were around me that also use the healthcare. So it is very much depending on what is wrong with you, what is happening. Me, it was just a simple thing like, oh, okay, your back is jacked up. We'll just give you some injections to relax your back. And other people, it costs way more out of pocket. So keep that in mind. It doesn't mean because you're in a foreign country that the healthcare is going to be necessarily cheaper. It might be, depending on the situation. It may or may not be better. So, yeah, that is my story about my back. I did have a really good experience with the healthcare system when I was there. Luckily, I didn't need to go to the hospital or to the clinic or get any extra tests, because that would be a pain in the butt to have to pay all that extra out of pocket. But yeah. So that is my story time about my back. But yes, my back is fine. It's better. I don't have to see another doctor or anything like that. So I'm good to go on that. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something about Costa Rica and the healthcare system, I guess. It's anecdotal, it's personal experience. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.